Nice.
And now she's at the CDC.
Yeah, that was fast though.
Fast.
Yeah.
You a college student? Well, you
You just graduated.
from
It's a school in New Jersey called Georgia Court.
what is it?
It's called Georgia Court University. It's in New Jersey. But yeah, I came back to Chicago and didn't keep the
So compared to the UK.
Yeah. Chicago is great. I love it because the food is the architecture is moved
Yeah.
but yeah, I think Chicago is probably the nothing. London's more expensive. Like, oh my goodness, going back there, I'm just gonna faint. But yeah, I would say Chicago though. It's just London's more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah. You should go there. You should come to it.
Yeah, my daughter, when she spent 3 months in Switzerland, she was over London, went to Paris,
Oh my goodness, that's.
went down to Morocco for a period. Yeah, she
Wow,
was.
she's Miss
Was she traveling, working, studying?
Oh, in Morocco, she was studying. She was doing comparative health policy studies.
In Morocco?
Yeah, and she's a French speaker. And in Switzerland, it's 76% French
French
speaker.
speaking, I'm Morocco.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
is it
Morocco.
country?
No, Morocco is in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the colonization, so they speak French,
Yeah.
Arabic.
She was telling me how the design of the cities
Mm-hmm.
looked similar to some of the European and
Yeah.
especially Paris. I said, that's the way colonization works. When you put a blueprint in spaces where they go.
That's branding.
Yeah.
Mm.
They brand.
Yeah.
And she was, I said, but at least you speak that colonizing language.
Yeah.
So you can go to some
Different
Francophone African countries, Canada, and some of the Caribbean places.
Didn't have any issues, did you?
No. No, she is fluent. The only issue now is she needs a community. Daddy used to do it, but daddy is not
She needs a community to communicate with,
to maintain
to
the,
maintain the
Language.
language.
Mm.
yeah. So,
So, how does she do that? You just get online and find some French people or some French?
it works better. Well, actually, my son has Senegalese friends at his school, so I've been trying to connect. Yeah, so they can just be in normal conversation.
Yeah.
That's how you really absorb the language.
Yeah, when you're around it, you just
Yep.
become natural. Yeah.
And I still remember a lot of words. I just don't remember phrases, because I spent a month.
Wow.
And that's why I encourage my daughter to do it.
That was great for you to do that for her,
Mm.
because it's a common language.
That's
I tried so hard. I was horrible with that.
Yeah.
And I had to have language, when I did my master's, the
Oh.
grad work, that was necessary.
Okay,
I just couldn't get it. I could read.
Wow.
wow.
There's most
I'm
of
kind of surprised
I
because,
could read, but I couldn't. Okay, so you say like chair. And
Yeah.
I would be like, well, it's the chair. How has the chair got femininity? to it?
that everything, words have masculine and feminine.
So I
That's it.
was, then they told me, okay, it's too late, you're too damn logical. Okay, so.
That's right.
I went to the president and I was like, hey, I gotta graduate, this is very difficult for me. So I became philosophy. My language was substituted for philosophy and religion,
Oh, really?
mostly.
Interesting.
Because I was like, I don't think I'll use it, which I didn't, but I could read. Now, don't ask me how I did that, don't ask me how I can read and couldn't speak, ain't that stupid?
Yeah.
You took French, but you said la chaise, or, yeah, chair.
The table, the
Table.
chair.
Table, yeah, I'm done.
You speak French too?
No,
Oh.
my dad used to. So my mom and I got it from Nigeria, so then they immigrated to London. But before they went to London, they went to Paris, so my brother was there in Paris with me. So he grew up studying French. So I knew a couple of phrases like "medallion droit," like stuff like that, but I've never been to Paris. No, even though Paris is literally like right there,
Mm.
yeah. I don't know why I never been. I gotta go.
And I want her to go to Switzerland, not Paris, because I want her to be in world policy.
World class, yeah.
Because she's now interning with the CDC.
But she'll do both. I mean, she got all the time in the world, so she'll do it. She'll go to, but like you say, put her in that global thing first. Yeah, and then come back.
Wow, I met this guy from Russia. He was just like war-torn country, and like he was explaining what it was. He's like trying not to go back, especially because his visa. Sometimes, wow, I can't even begin to imagine.
Keep
like,
rushing.
Yeah,
So they conscript them.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, the constriction.
So what?
They said, if you're a male,
Yeah.
you're going to fight.
Yeah.
And they, the
Oh,
male population, a young male, yeah, you're gonna fight if you're Russian.
Mandatory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause they just mowing them down. I mean,
Well, isn't it like that in Israel? In Israel, the men and the girls.
yeah, they have mandatory military service.
Yeah.
Both, man and women.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to do that, they used to do that in the UK back in the day, like if you're a man, you go to war. Especially during World War II, that was a thing, but I don't think it's a thing now.
Yeah.
Because people are starting to realize monarchy for what it really is, and people are losing the pride of nationalism, like.
That's a good thing, don't you think?
I met, no, I think it was at the Chicago History Museum, we met the guy who was in charge of all museums across the globe, basically. And obviously the jewels from Africa and stuff like that. So it was a very interesting conversation to have with them. But yeah, a lot of people are losing that respect that, you know, I'm from the UK, like actually child. And people are starting to realize history. All that thing. So, yeah, not a lot of people are going to war anymore in London or in the UK. Because they're not surprised. But in other parts of Europe, like Russia, stuff like that, they're getting to war. If you're a man, you're going.
Well, you're going to jail if you don't go.
Yeah.
Who this? Yeah, you're going to jail if you don't go
Yeah.
fight there.
China too. We have the same.
They're not active in combat though. Russia is in active combat against Ukraine. So lots of people just die and we don't cover it. Remember what you talked about in terms of news and marketing? And my son even said, Dad, you know, I'm really tired because I watch the news every night or what should be news. He said, Dad, as soon as they find something new, they forget about the reality. He said, we haven't heard anything about Ukraine war.
That's right.
And
Oh,
now
it's
you
like-
hear-
It's like like a badge.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now all we hear, and did you hear, what is it, what's his name,
Netanyahu, Netanyahu.
Netanyahu, did you hear the accident, that it was an accident, it was just a tragic? You just.
That just happened.
It just happened.
They bombed a camp last night.
And they killed.
Well,
The baby?
Yes.
Oh,
Tons. And yeah, his statement
Oh,
was
it's
like
just a
tragic.
tragic accident, I'm so sorry.
Mm.
What?
Yeah,
How many people, 13,000?
it,
Yeah.
It's a big number.
they're not giving us the numbers anymore.
Mm.
Like they stopped at 30,000. We know if they stopped really reporting. Every week they were reporting when Palestinians were killed. Now they say over 30,000. Something else we were talking about.
See how the
So,
language just
Yeah.
changes?
Yeah.
yeah, they're underreporting the death count. So we know it's probably in the neighborhood of 100.
100,000, you think?
Absolutely. Cause you can't, how do you know what's under the rubble? And how do you know, I mean,
But did you see the babies?
Oh.
oh,
The newborns?
I saw
Oh,
it in the
that broke my
beginning.
My God, y'all killing newborn babies.
Yeah, it was.
Senior citizens and those who don't die, they have so many young people without limbs.
Mm.
Yeah, you lose your arm.
Yeah.
You lose your leg. You know, I've always,
Yeah.
since college, I've studied slavery, Holocaust, slavery, Holocaust, slavery, Holocaust. Studied it. And I've always, every professor, how did Hitler pull off? Oh, wow. And worlds, you know, worlds and stuff. How? Now I know. Now I know.
There's a whole movie.
There's
about
like,
it.
you don't have to, you have to know what he was doing, you just want to know.
You stop caring.
Well, Germany was going through economic depression, and so he was at the right time, and right place.
It was like Trump. I'm so afraid of Trump, and Trump is coming to the end, it's like this.
Yeah.
Brian, the gentleman who did the tacos, is he with us today?
It should be
What is his name?
Michael Neal.
Neil,
Yeah.
Neal?
He had asked to be gone. I can call him now. And Corey will be logging on soon. We have your PowerPoint and
My
everything.
friend Linda, did she send you a list? She said they didn't get anything. And I sent her what you sent me, this morning.
I didn't get a list of emails
That's what she was looking for.
unless she sent it to,
We need to, I told her we would check with her.
yeah,
Before I left today.
yeah, I didn't get a list of emails. I don't know if
She
you
said
read
she
that.
sent you.
Okay.
Now, Brian, let me ask you a technical question, because this is what we did last week, this week, and this stuff. This is my original work. You're not sharing this, are you? Like, the work, I mean, it could be shared with these people, but I mean, outside of this.
It's been on the Black Faith Legal Collective site. That's the little Facebook page I have with about 80 participants.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I mean, you tell me.
I don't know, I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, I have a little Facebook page. And I put the lectures on the page.
I see.
So it's close to about 80 members. Yeah, a lot of the same people that participate here. No, it's been excellent and,
You got good response.
yes, absolutely. We should have a decent following. I'm gonna talk to our curriculum person and, share what we're doing to see if maybe there's interest in the seminary to do something more, official, so to speak, because,
How did your president, was he?
oh, he's been online. He may come today, but no, people know about it, and it's different. And remember, I'm connected with more than one seminary.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, the one I graduated from, I still do a lot of work with them.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that Garrett?
Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for Garrett for 3 years before coming here. So I have I worked in administration there. I still talk to the president, the gentleman, and, I keep thinking you were at the graduation. You were at the graduation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still do work with them and they know what I'm doing. So it's something different. And then James, Dr. Foster works for Lutheran. So we got multiple seminaries.
You have anybody from McCormick?
Well, McCormick is housed in the same space as Lutheran. So they're sort of like a consortium. So it's Catholic Theological Union in the same building with Lutheran and McCormick.
You know, Chicago's got more seminaries than, we're second only in the world to Rome.
No. But the number of seminaries, I didn't know that. I wonder why. Cause right in this vicinity, you got CTS,
Yeah.
University of Chicago, Catholic, Lutheran, McCormick.
Got Moody.
Then Moody is downtown as you're going
You got
north.
Garrett, Evanston.
Garrett, you have,
That's it, isn't it?
no, North Park. So you're right in terms, I don't know other city.
No, I mean
concentrations.
Chicago.
Yeah,
We're second only to Rome.
wow.
See, in Chicago, I don't know what this is. When you go to New York, I don't care what you do, a book, a TV show, fashion, you become national, next step is international. Chicago, we play ourselves down, because we don't realize who we are. We don't realize our magnitude.
Yeah,
Biggest airport, more seminaries, we got more, our medical center.
the district, Illinois Medical
The
District,
medical
biggest in the country?
World, try world. Yes,
The Illinois Medical District where we have all.
years ago,
Yeah.
I was gonna go to Mayo. I was, you know how some years ago, you just say, if you want a real oral checkup, you go to Mayo.
Yeah,
And I called to make an appointment, they were saying, what's wrong with you? And I said, nothing, I just want a general checkup, and they said, why are you coming to Mayo and got Northwestern? No, it makes sense. So you go to Mayo, you gotta fly, you got a hotel room, and you go through you go a day or two of all those tests and everything, and it's like, why did you come here and you got Northwestern? Yeah.
You know, you guys all right? Congratulations, man, about all the good stuff that's happening. Yeah, breaking records and all that stuff.
oh, I didn't tell you about my son.
This is precious. This is Dr. Austin.
Good to meet you too.
How you doing, sir?
See you then, man.
Right.
My son plays second in the states.
Ooh,
For him to be the dad.
For running. All right now.
nice.
I told him, I said, Brian, even among, there are three classes, there's 1A, 2A, 3A. 3A are the bigger schools, more resources, so on and so forth. But I told Brian, I said, okay, out of the three classes, how many runners were there? 27
Total?
out of all three classes in the finals. I said, Brian, there were 27 runners, and you weren't the slowest of those. So, you know, we're talking the whole state of Illinois.
Right.
I mean,
To get a silver medal downstate as a junior, that's just a whole thing.
Yeah, that's
He'll be back next year, killing.
yeah, but
Oh, he's killing it.
the top guys are primarily seniors.
Wow.
Most of the winners, yeah, I would say probably 90% are seniors.
And he doesn't know what he can do. He dropped 3 seconds in the 400 meters over the last year, probably less than that, last few months.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know yet how fast. he
Nice.
is.
Nice.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
See him next year.
Yeah, he's the first in the history of his school. But he won indoor championship. He was the first to win the indoor championship in the history of the North Shore Country small school. And he almost won outdoor in the same season.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Now in the summer, does he practice?
That's
he is going to now.
that's a really
Now,
good
does he
question.
practice coaching or he just?
He's gonna be running with an AAU team this
What's that
summer.
mean?
Amateur athletic. Amateur athletic. Union.
I think it is him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's, you know, national.
Mhm.
And he's gonna be running with the Aurora Flyers. His coach was there.
Good,
Coach Boatwright came.
good. He needed
That
to see
shows you
that.
how much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
terrific.
he ran with them, oh, there she is. That's my daughter Chloe. He ran with them last year, went to the Junior Olympics, and they came in ninth in the nation. So he knows them.
Hey, Chloe,
Yes, ma'am.
did you get the second revised, PowerPoint I sent you?
I don't think I got a second one. Let me pull up what I have and then you can let me know if this is the right one or not.
Okay. We got it yesterday. Brian, I sent it to you. Did you send it to her? Okay, she
Let's
got
see
it.
who she has.
I just added. I'm
That's
sorry.
the one where I sent the email, you got the email back from that one, she should have that one, we'll see. If not, I can see.
That's amazing.
What's that? Oh, man.
A second.
So,
This is,
Langston Hughes, the poet laureate of the Black experience, borrowed the poetic
update them?
Well, all of that. Go, keep going. Let me see the pictures. Go. 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 Okay, that's it. You got it.
Okay.
Okay, go. I added that.
Okay. So grades, that level of performance as a junior and being at the school he's at, that's your college degree.
And he doesn't even, they don't have a track at his school. His main running is on the day of the meet. So,
So he did,
it doesn't even work out in all these other big schools, that's why I told him, I said, Brian, if you were at a 3A school where you're running on a track every day for practice, you'd be so much better.
right.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the
So he
consistent.
doesn't have practice,
Not the way the
not
highest
training
levels.
like
Yeah.
they should.
He practices, but not the, yeah,
Well, you gotta get him somewhere.
yes, that's what the AA team is gonna.
That's what they do.
Oh.
Yeah. He'll be running on the track, I drive plane.
The most important part of having those rehearsals, those practices, is having a level of competition, practicing with you every day.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the,
Room.
And they push you, right?
Push you, yeah.
yeah, he's so far ahead in his races, you know, that's
Yeah,
the
man.
difference of.
That sound like Olympic talk, man.
Some people said that, and we're watching, his coach was excited, so. There was a young man that's 3A, that's on his team, that was on the Junior Olympics, he ran 48 in 3A.
Okay,
So he came in fifth, so Brian will be working with him over the summer.
that's really
So
important.
now you're running against,
I know you might feel some kind of way, man, but I wouldn't be opposed to driving, you still always up north. I would put him on that Evanston track, man.
I was asking about that.
Where
Yeah,
y'all
that's where I'm from.
y'all go work out together?
You know what I mean, with them, with the 3 A's.
I asked Michelin.
Okay.
They,
They're trying to steal him, so if you.
Yeah.
Deal
they
with
know, they're like, I mean, we lived in Everson, so they know Brian,
Yeah.
when he was a little bitty guy. He practiced with, the Everson team when he was in, sixth grade, sixth grade. We discovered this in Evanston.
You better get him. You know who your son sounds like? Ali.
Oh, my goodness.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
he
serious.
could be.
You know, Ali didn't have training for a while.
Yeah.
And then they were studying him in that gym. They said, boy, that's
Got some,
talent.
yeah.
Yeah, we better start training him. And then they started training him and
You
they
make
know
her
the
co-host?
businessman got
Yes.
behind him. And, Ali went to the Olympics and he knocked out everything.
Yeah.
Moving.
Yeah.
And he hadn't had a lot of training. He just like, do this, do that, do this, do that. But then they start recognizing.
Yeah.
It's been happening, and I'm, now after this meet, I'm hoping to start getting the colleges,
Yeah,
start reaching out.
you think the college is like out of state or you're in state?
I gotta work with him. You got, people coming in, guys.
Oh.
We've got 5.
I'm
of our-
admitting them.
Okay. All right, I'll be quiet. I'll leave it alone. I have to see where he's at, but he definitely understands. He's like, I can do better.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows it. He
That's great.
had his little champion T-shirt and hat on today,
Oh.
and I think they'll probably honor him at the school. Cause
Yeah.
he's probably gonna be the most decorated sprinter in the history of the school.
He's already in the local press.
Super excited.
And really, man, he can be on the road.
How about 11:30? I have to be down for,
Whatever.
right here would be the best space for the audience online.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think the 800 meeting might be it.
You know, I mentioned it to him, he said, oh.
I mean, it's 800, like, geez. But. Wow. I didn't thought it was when I was young, but started thinking about, you didn't connect with me.
My daughter was the same way. She just didn't connect. I was so disappointed.
Oh.
Yeah, her grandmother was the fastest in her school. I was the fastest in my school. But
Wow,
Brianna just didn't want to do it. It's like that. I was okay. I'll
Yeah.
force you.
yeah. What, was it just 400, was it just hundreds or 400? Was it just-
Yeah, I went down, same school. I went down state in the 110-meter highs.
Wow,
Junior year I ran 14 flat. Senior year I ran like a 13.89, 13.85.
wow.
But the point I'm making with B2 is, you know, I was 5'10" and a half at 145 pounds. When I got to college, my height about.
Good morning, sir. Are you
I should have been in 400 meters. So sometimes,
Okay,
you know,
all right.
as you go
'Cause we-
forward,
We ordered these
You have
tacos for
to
you.
race. his speed and yes, it's top of the state in 400. But he's so long because of his cross country.
Just coming that lot in the back,
You
coming the lot that's in the back.
know what I mean?
You can park in the parallel spaces. You'll see it.
Is it 11?
Yeah.
It just turned to like.
This kind of.
No, just parking, those spaces that are adjacent to the building. Yes, it's parked there. Okay, all right. Okay, bye-bye. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Those who are gathered on Facebook as, we're preparing, let's see. A little dark, but, I think we'll be okay. We had light right above.
Oh, that's good.
Is that good?
Yeah, I think where you had it.
Okay. Can you all hear well, those who are, on Facebook? Yeah, we gotta get their, he's gonna get their audio in a second. Are you all speaking? Chloe,
Can you hear me?
can you all hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, could someone else besides Chloe just speak so that we can make sure that our audio is working with the audience? Anyone? on-
I can hear.
Okay, there we go.
Yes,
I can hear as well.
Okay, and Anetta, since you're on, I'm gonna have you to open us in prayer and we'll give another minute of grace. So we have
Yes, sir.
7 on, and we got a couple that are coming in the building. Good. And you know what's funny? We'll add on about 7 once I send, for some reason, people wait until I send them a text message.
Well, they don't, it's a reminder.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
So do we have people here?
yeah, you got a 9 and 10 now. You got 10 online.
How do you know? Is
There are a couple of symbols.
Yeah.
You'll see them at the
But I
top.
can't see people. This is so strange.
Okay, so you got 9 participants here.
Oh.
Welcome to our world.
You change the view.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she'll start doing that. Yeah, Chloe got it. There you
There
go.
you go. So
All right, Chloe.
they're on the side.
So you see here.
Oh, so now I.
So Reverend
yeah.
Ken, Christina Ellis, Sharita, that Reverend Carmen there with Covenant, I'm sure that's who that is. And if Chloe goes down, I can see more. Yes, so they're
Now, if they
9.
want to ask questions, do they chat or do they?
They can actually talk to
Yeah,
us.
Okay,
you can
please.
say,
Yes.
you can tell me, say, unmic.
Yeah. So you can do that. Like last time, I mean, we
We
were just,
just did at the
we
end.
were listening to you, but you can, you can engage them and you can call their names. They know I'll call their
I can't
names.
see.
Yeah, it's so small.
It is kind of small. But,
I can help you out there, but yeah, you can
Alright.
see their names there. And then Chloe will be monitoring it, so see, someone else is coming into the waiting room. I'll help you and I'll call on their names.
Yeah, so now there's more.
So see, Reverend Carmen changed her name. She was with Covenant. Good morning, Reverend. Reverend Doctor. Chloe, could you go, okay, Pat Nelson. Minister
Good
Nelson.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. I'm on my phone, so it sometimes takes me a little longer to manipulate on my phone. But
Okay.
Good morning. Okay.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and begin.
You
Want to be
ready?
timely, want to get you guys started, and we want to open up opportunities for you to be able to dialogue this time. Welcome to our second session. For those who don't know me, I'm Reverend Dr. Brian E. Smith. And I'm here with Dr. Hermene Hartman,
Emphasize that.
founder of Indigo. Is it Indigo Media
That's what I do.
All right, Indigo meeting, welcome. Brother Neil, I see purple in here. Good to see you, Brother Wise. But welcome, everyone. This is our second session, the second of 4 sessions that will focus on media, and this is tailored specifically towards faith leaders. This is a part of our new way of doing seminary. And so we have this running concurrently with our other session, which is civics for faith leaders. And that's being taught by Reverend Dr. Jeanette Wilson, and we're going alternate weeks. And so we're going to be blessed this morning with our second lecture. I'm going to go ahead and ask Reverend Onetta Brooks to open us in prayer.
Okay, all right. So we just take a deep breath. Just breathe in and release. So Spirit of the living God, just fall afresh on us. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. As we again begin this session of media and civics, we continue to invite your presence in and through each one of us. So as we listen and we contribute, we just thank you for these opportunities to hear and to listen. And again, thank you for the leaders, and just thank you for the messages that'll come through. So we're honored, in your many names I pray, but in the name of the Christ. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, Reverend.
We ready?
Yes.
Okay. You all be patient with me because this is so new. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay. I'm a rounded media person, and they always try to get me to do radio, and I hate radio because, again, I'm talking to myself. It's like I need to see somebody, right? I got you. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about branding, messaging, image. And I'm gonna throw some propaganda in here too. Now, if I have a whole, platform prepared for you, but along the way, and then we're gonna do an exercise for you. But along the way, if you have questions, please ask them. You can ask them at the end, or you can ask them at the point of a conversation, but please feel free to do that. This is learning, and we need to communicate in that regard. All right, so today we're talking about branding, we're gonna talk about messaging, and we're gonna talk about imaging. And all of this obviously ties into media. Last week I gave you all some homework. I hope you looked at the program I told you that was on Netflix, which was on Rather, which was on the newscaster Dan Rather, which was, and the point I wanted you to see was when journalism was another kind of journalism. It was a real journalism. If you didn't get a chance to look at it, please do, because it will tie into the things that we're talking about. Okay, let me have the next slide, please. The next slide. Okay, so branding is identity. What is your identity? So in marketing, branding is the process of your distinction. Who are you? It's branding is for business. For you, it's a congregation. But what's in the mind of the consumer or the audience that you're trying to attract? The goal of branding is to make a company, a church, a person stand out from competitors so that you can be the preferred option for the consumer, for whatever audience you're trying to attract. So in a word, branding is no more than your identity. Okay? Okay, we're ready for the next slide. Okay, so in marketing, branding is the process of being distinctive. What's in the mind of the consumer on you, on what your brand is. The goal of branding is to make you stand out from competitors. how you can become the preferred. So let's look at a couple of churches and see what you think about, because this is their branding. So when I say Ebenezer Baptist Church, you think something. What do you think? You
Birthplace of gospel.
Okay, you think gospel. You probably think Dr. King. You
Oh,
might think
yeah, yeah.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
You might think Ornette, our new senator, but you think something. That's the point.
Yes.
So I say Joel Osteen. What do you think?
This is my Bible.
Mega. Texas and.
Texas?
Spell.
I got it spelled wrong. I'm sorry. You think auditorium? You think big
Yeah.
church,
I knew
mega
it
church,
was stadium.
stadium,
I think.
mega,
Yes.
okay? And you might think of a kind of a new ministry, if you will, maybe
A new wave.
A
but
new
not-
wave,
Yeah,
a
but
new
not
wave.
a new ministry.
a new wave of
A
ministry.
new
That's
wave.
good.
Right.
All right, Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago.
History.
You think history?
History, rather, historical.
You think Catholic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
You think downtown,
North side, yeah.
Yeah.
North side.
North Side? You think Cardinal? Holy Name Cathedral is always the Cardinals Church, okay? So you think something. So I say Chicago Theological Seminary. What comes to your mind? What do you think?
Education.
Education,
Research,
seminary,
Theology.
theology, Hyde Park,
Yeah. Hyde Park,
Progressive,
University of Chicago.
UC. You think something. So that's all branding is what do you think of said subject matter? Okay, let's have the next slide. All right, now how do you build a brand? Real simple. You want to define identity. Who are you? It's your definition. You define it. And then you want to highlight your target audience. Who are you trying to reach? You're trying to reach the people in the neighborhood. You're trying to reach a wider audience. What's your attraction? And then you want to organize around that particular identity. You might have great children's program. I was a little girl, I went to church, Good Shepherd, and I went because my mother said they had the best programs for children. That was the attraction. And don't be afraid in branding to revise. What you branded 10 years ago might not be what you do today. What your founder did might have worked 50 years ago, but it might not work today. You might be trying to attract new audience, all right? And so you might have to do some different things to attract that new audience. We have cross generations now. Sometimes you do something for the elderly. Sometimes you do something for the mid. Sometimes you do something for the Gen Zs that are very different. So don't be afraid as you brand, your brand is your core, but don't be afraid to revise it, and revising it is updating. I've been in business since 1989. About every 10 years, it's time for me to do something new, which is a new brand, bring something new forth. So think of branding as birth. It's birth. It's new, it's identity, and it's, what is it? Okay? Next slide, please. All right, now I'm going to give you an
Word
example.
of the psalmist to crown his man.
Wait a minute, hold, stop. Back that up and let's see if we can't bring that with some clarity. This is Trinity United Church of Christ. Identity, unashamedly Black. Free South Africa, you all might remember some years ago, that was a sign that was out in their yard. And so let's look at this slide because it's a wonderful branding. So let's see if we can hear that a little clearer.
Langston Hughes, the poet lord of the Black experience, borrowed the poetic words of the psalmist to craft his magnificent.
It's a little muff.
It's muffled, but you can get my point.
Yeah.
First of all, he's saying very clearly, this is a black church. Period. It's a black church, y'all. Okay, what I have on the line, these are made up numbers, but that would be part of your branding. How many followers do you have? Perhaps in the New Way, Facebook? How many members? What's your membership? How many programs do you have? How many events? Part of what I want you to understand, and you can play this, you may not hear it, but you'll get the point. In this branding, you can play it, but you see cross generations. You see a choir tends to be young. Chloe, play it for me. Because these pictures work for me. There's some youth. I go out and I see a mix. I see a lot of women. There's my men. Women in African garb. I see a big choir. That's his branding. You see symbolism, Black power. Okay, that's good, but that's if for all practical purposes to use marketing language, that's his commercial.
Yeah.
Come to Trinity, here's what we got, here's what you see. So you think about that, to do that for yourself, no longer than a minute. 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now you got your brand. And your brand is your identity. And now we want to look at, okay, what's your message? What makes a good brand? You want a logo and you want a slogan. A logo and a slogan. All right, so now we want to look at messaging. A message is the framework, it's the structure, it's the written representation of your brand's uniqueness. Successful messaging is a framework to understand and clearly differentiate your church from the competition. How is your church different from all the other churches? That's what you want to distinguish in your messaging. Your brand messaging can include your value proposition, your target audience, a statement about what differentiates you from competition, where you are in the landscape, and what do you feature? That's your messaging. Now, you all see those pictures, those beautiful, colorful pictures. I'm a real nut on imaging. What do those pictures say to you? So when I'm doing my branding and I'm doing my solicitation to corporate for advertising, I want them to think of me too. That's my Black history. Not downtrodden, not poor, not dilapidated, bright. The lady in the red, is that African, Egyptian, that imaginary? What is it? It's color. The one on the side, that's women. Where are they? They in Egypt, imaginary, creative, but I got bright colors there. And that's what I'm saying. Bright Blackness, if you will, temporary, if you will. That's my message. Okay? Let's go to the next one. All right, now you see messaging and branding all day, every day. You are absorbed with it. You can't get away from it if you want to get away from it. Okay, but this is communication. It communicates to you. What's the message here? That's the cover of the magazine support. What's your message? Maybe sophistication. Do you all even know who the woman is?
Definitely the guy.
You know the guy. Who's the guy?
Cuban Gooding,
Okay. Who's the lady?
Beyonce.
Beyonce looking sophisticated, looking really like a lady.
And
She might- What's the message? Let's go to the next one. Okay, now, one of the things I want to point out and be very sensitive to. When white folks do black folks, they find something to put us down. They find something to make different. They find something to distinguish. This is the cover of Vogue magazine. This is the Vice President of the United States of America. What's wrong with that picture? Sean Jim Shoe. Never in the history of Vogue
Any color.
did they put the pretty lady with gym shoes on the cover. That's a downgrade.
Mhm.
There was uproar on this. Why is the Vice President of the United States in gym shoes? Is she going to the gym? Is she going for a walk? Is she going for a stroll? This does not say power.
Mm-mm.
This does not say glamour. It's a letdown. I'm in a big position. What does this communicate? What's the message here?
I could see the attempted message was to show that she's quote unquote everyday people. Because nowadays that is a fashion sense where people have sneaker balls and all that.
She look like Vice President to you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't say what they attempted to do.
Will she look like Vice President to you?
No,
Okay, I'm done.
and I
I'm
think,
done.
and for some people, that's the appeal. That she doesn't look like the vice president, that we can see her as being one of us.
Everyday people.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was going through a string where everybody's having a sneaker ball, you know, like, so everywhere I go, you want me to put on gym shoes, but that was the end thing.
At one point.
And I think that's the point of maybe trying to be a little too trendy.
Too trendy.
That you're trying to do what everybody else is doing, but not with her.
This is a beautiful woman.
Yeah,
Very.
She's very pretty.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
got hair, we could make her up in another whole way, right? And she would be totally different, it would be a different representation, but they put her there was an uproar on this, I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
remember this. Women had uproar on this, why she got on
Right.
gym shoes?
Right.
And I agree with uproar because it's like, what Red said, I agree with what he said, but the thing is, there's time and place for everything. You don't put the vice president on Vogue with gym shoes.
That's right,
Now,
that's
if
out.
she was on the, no, not even Sports Illustrated, if she was on the newspaper for the church or community, okay, but that's a nationwide magazine. And so, just like you said, if you take the name off, take Kamala Harris off, take Vice President off,
Who is she?
who is she? She's a woman about today that's just on a run and they catching the dress down. And then you put that name on it like, oh, that's the right. So yeah, I could, like you said, I'm looking at, I'm putting in perspective, like she said, with the brand. When you going national, you gotta remember, everybody in the world reads Vogue. You can't put them gym shoes on Vogue.
Yes, and I think Anetta, when
Yeah.
you're gonna.
Yeah, I just have a quickie. That was a power dynamic that minimizes her, that takes away her power as effective as a woman and who could obviously control and speak to all genders, but it was to minimize her and to make sure that, yes, you do see her as even though she's beautiful, all those things that sometimes we look at in terms of a woman have to look, it was to minimize her and bring her down to the lowest common denominator, to make sure she's an everyday woman and not to be as powerful as she is. But even in the midst of all of that, she's able to speak her strength through that, as much as they wanted to minimize it, in my personal opinion, with the picture.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna show you something real simple. If she was gonna be everyday lady, she should have had on some brown suede pumps.
Yep.
High heels.
You high
For a woman? How? Okay, let's go to the next one. All right.
Oh, yeah.
That's the cover of the New Yorker magazine. That was Barack and Michelle, I think it was during the election, but it was after he was definitely nominated for president of the United States. And there was background search on who are they. So Barack becomes this is caricature, all right? And this is Barack as a Muslim. And this is Michelle as a militant with a gun, no less. And this was based on her thesis. This image comes out of whatever her thesis was, which was Black, she studied something Black. And so this becomes, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we get ready to put in the White House. Total insult. There was an uproar on that too, you might remember.
Yeah.
Okay, next slide. All right, I had a magazine called Savoy. And we introduced it nationally in I don't forgot the year, it was 2008. This picture was a power couple. It was casual. You see Barack has on no tie. It was Michelle, leather, but they looked like a contemporary couple. So I worked with Barack in the early days on imaging and messaging. And this was my model. This picture is by a guy named Victor Skrebneski, who was one of the top glam models in the world. He did Estee Lauder covers. And so in putting this together, what's our statement? What's our message? By the way, this was Thanksgiving Eve, and it was before they went to Washington. I wanted a picture before they got to Washington. I didn't want no Washington stuff on. And that's before they went to, that's a collector's item now. What's that say? What's your message?
Bright,
It's bright,
unity.
unity, together. They're clearly a couple. They're happy,
And they just look well put together.
well put together.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what that is.
Do you think they were trying to, the same as the other message with Kamala, trying to appeal to people in a different way? You know, but not having them be so formal.
Okay, that's it, not to be so formal, but notice the difference between that picture, Carmela. There are no feet there.
Yeah.
That's waist up.
Yep.
That's waist up. There are no feet. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, these are the official portraits of the president and Michelle Obama. These are their official portraits that will be in the White House. What does it say to you?
I always liked hers more than I did his to me looks like tired. Hers is not relaxed, elegant.
Yeah, with Barack, I have a question mark. With Michelle, it does look elegant, almost Mona Lisa-ish. I don't know what to make of the one with the, and I love flowers. But I don't know if they're trying to tone him down and make him less threatening. I don't know if that was the attempt, I don't know. I know they tend to do that with men. So
These are the only pictures in the White House a president and the first lady where they're not standing.
Mm. Mhm.
Barack is sitting. There's a big difference between you standing and you sitting. They don't take pictures with men with flowers.
And I also was thinking, why make him less threatening? Because this is after the second term.
But it's still the picture, the official portrait
Right,
in the White House.
yeah.
This is too damn contemporary. And those flowers don't look like flowers. Those flowers look like the field.
Yep. Sitting on.
Look like you on the field.
Come on, well, actually, me being from the South, honestly, what it looks like is the portrayal. To me, being from the South, I believe someone from the South will take it. He look like a field nigga.
That's what he looks like. Look at Michelle. Mona Lisa? That ain't Mona Lisa.
No.
Mona Lisa was waist up. Another, sitting down. None of the first ladies. None. None of them are sitting down. And she's too casual. She look like she going to a picnic.
So is there a sense that in to try to be trendy or to do something so different, do we just miss what could be? Just take the regular portrait.
Just put him in a black suit,
Like
no
all-
tie,
like
there's
all
no
others.
tie there.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not formal. Barack was always formal. Michelle should have been in an evening gown or a black dress or a gown or business dress. But this,
And they have the evening dresses, because they had the display there.
And not only that, she's always been, even from the first day she stepped in, she's always been classified as the most beautiful first lady there's ever been.
So,
Ever. But
yeah.
in the portrayal to lead, the picture we wanna lead is that she's not the most beautiful.
now this is
Yeah.
a picture that stays, you know, we're dead 50 years later. Your grandchildren going in there,
That's the
we're
point.
going in there. That's the whole point of the picture.
It's the
Is this is
picture.
the official picture in the White House. They look different than anybody else. Your president has on no tie. Your president is sitting down. Your president looks like he's in the field. Michelle looks like
You know, picnic.
going to, that's a picnic dress.
And that's why I say, it seemed like you're reaching so to be trendy and special and different, and you didn't have to. So branding doesn't have to be where you go out and try to do all the so-called spectacular different things. You look at the major corporations that are always, those arches are the same, no matter where you go.
McDonald's,
You know,
period.
all these different top Fortune 500 companies, they don't switch up all the time. It is what it is. This is it. I go even the Yankees, their baseball uniform, it is. We're not mixing all these, it's the pinstripe. We're not mixing all these colors.
Some things you don't change. Some things are traditional. Some things are standard. Okay? Some things are traditional. Those are non-traditional pictures that depowered them.
There's a comment in the chat, Sharita's comment, could we either highlight it or read it? Sharita just posted a comment. It's in the chat.
I'll read it aloud. Perhaps she wanted to do something different. She was the first to show her arms. They were different.
Yeah, it's different.
But she could have did the same thing.
Too different. For my taste, it's too different. And
I mean, she could have done it instead. And I think I understand what you're saying, but I think the thing that with me, I'm big on communication. That's my undergrad, communication. The one thing is you always have to be mindful of where you're gonna be presented.
I was going to say, now
You always have to be mindful.
here's your big problem with this. Your big problem with this is not for now.
Yeah.
This is
100 years.
forever.
It's forever. And
This is
so,
forever. And this is, to me, it's the wrong message.
To stand the test of time.
Where is your tie, Mr. President of the United States of America? Where's your tie?
Yes.
You all are ministers. Y'all don't go in pulpits without no ties. I don't care how trendy you are. You got on a tie. That's your formal attire, period. Let's go to the next one.
Especially for a minister's portrait that's gonna be there. Black suit usually,
What's the message?
Anytime.
This is Glamour Lady,
Ooh.
Vanity Fair, blah, blah. What's the message?
I don't give a.
There's a comment.
Sharita says she will forever be remembered as the first lady of style.
Not like that, she won't. All right, y'all ministers, we're gonna skip it. Y'all get the point.
Yes.
That's what I said, when I look at that, she reflects, I don't give them. I don't care.
For this picture.
Yeah, I'm just, what you all, and it's a shame because it's actually a slap in the face to Vanity Fair and they don't even see it. She laying back like, this is what? It's gonna mean nothing to me. So what, y'all worldwide and some of the best have been on, whatever.
It's insulting.
It's insulting. She's insulting Vanity Fair and every other model that ever was set on. She like, this don't mean nothing to me.
Who is that?
It's an applicant.
I don't, Riley, who, I don't know.
So let's,
Precious, who is that?
I don't know.
You don't know either? Okay, keep on, keep
but the
on.
thing that's different about this one though, this is a news, let's say a magazine cover. And first of all, we don't know her, but maybe that's her image. Maybe she's the bad girl.
Okay,
And so in that regard, she got what she wanted.
maybe,
Because she used Vanity Fair to help brand who she really is.
okay.
You know, I ain't saying I would do it, but apparently that's her.
But
Okay,
now,
and then
okay,
the
but
question is, hold
what
on.
he just
Well,
said,
the question is, who is the audience? She didn't communicate to us.
That's our point.
but what you just said is the reason why we were saying that how the cover of Kamala Harris, Barack Obama's off, because what they portrayed them is not what they want portrayed about them.
Exactly. So the question is then, when you have these articles and you're doing a photo shoot, was that upon the vice president and her handlers to make sure that the presentation conveyed what she wanted? This person here, she got exactly what she wanted.
Okay, now.
It's
that's
Lisa
a-
Presley's daughter.
That's
That's
a
Elvis
great,
Presley's granddaughter.
Okay.
okay, so that's a great
Ooh.
point. This is where PR people,
Mhm.
handlers, operatives, this is where we come in,
Yes.
okay? Is to make sure that it's right. When I was handling Barack, roll up your sleeves. Let's take off your coat jacket. And let's be the average guy. There is no sitting down. There is no sitting down. I'm trying to project power. There ain't no sitting down. Okay? You don't care how tired you are, get up. So you can see these are subtle things, but this is why you need handlers. This is why your handler could be your wife. Your handler could be your daughter. But somebody's looking at, hey, wait a minute. Why are you sitting like that?
Yes.
Hey, cross your legs.
Yes.
Hey, why she got them gym shoes on? I got some shoes here. Let's put some suede shoes on her. Hey, blow her hair out. You all saw that picture I did of Michelle? We had a fan. I was blowing her hair. Okay, all of this is important because this becomes what? It becomes your brand, it becomes your image, and you are communicating. Let's see the next one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, the LeBron fan too.
There's
Oh,
another
my
ball.
goodness.
Well, just,
Yeah, I know.
And when this came out, this was absolutely on the mark, but the criticism of it.
Yeah, it was.
This is the
Well
big black
said.
guy
With the damsel in distress.
with the woman is, so who does this look like? What's the movie?
Yeah,
Kong.
King Kong.
King Kong? It's
Yep.
King Kong.
All day long.
That's the real King Kong, right?
And that's,
before your eyes.
that actually is the Pope.
Yeah.
That is the King
All
Kong. That is the
you
Pope.
missing is the Empire State Building.
That's the
Yeah.
Pope.
You got it. All
The basketball is the Empire. That's actually the Pope.
right. Big, brute, black man, dainty, in distress, blonde, white woman.
Mhm.
These ain't no old pictures, y'all.
No.
Okay, okay, let's do the next one. All right, Vanity Fair. That's Arnold and Maria on the motorcycle in California.
Good one.
And you know, it's just, it's clean cut, because Marie is who? That's a
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Mhm.
If you look at that pose she's doing, that is the exact
He is
same
not the
pose
Terminator,
that Jackie
he is
did.
not Mr.
Nope.
But they did give him, like a clean, everyday type of guy that's fit, cause he has a leather jacket, almost like a biker or whatever. But they didn't go so far as the muscle man.
He's not the muscle man, saving
And-
late.
And you don't see that he's Austrian, you know, none of those vibes. He looks all American.
He's Mr. America.
Yeah.
He's Mr. America, because she is
So,
Miss America, right?
so it gotta be the hairless then. Cause
No.
Vanity Fair, I mean,
Don't have to be,
okay.
but is, let me tell you. For Carmela to be on Vogue, I bet you her handlers went to sleep, because you're going to be on Vogue. No.
Armando,
So let me tell you what I do. And I've done this for Reverend Jackson, I've done it for Johnny Cochran, I've done it for Barack. I have approval. I will go in and stage, I do it very well. But I have approval.
could you talk a little bit about when you say
You
you
don't
approve,
use the picture
unless you approve?
until I approve.
Got it.
We agree on the picture. We agree on what you use. I sign off. Yes, you can use this. I don't care how much money you paid. I don't care what. The image is more important than your money.
Right.
And when we took pictures for the immature players, when they were doing the reunion, they wanted all to take pictures. There were certain poses. I said, no, I don't do that. And it's like, oh, no, well, we want to see how it looks. No,
A
no, you
common
don't.
thing for me,
Because once you take
they
it,
trying to make a
you got
man,
it and you can produce it.
they trying to make y'all look
Yeah.
hip and in.
Yeah.
Here's your post.
The jailhouse,
You in the pulpit like this.
the jailhouse pose. No. And they was like, well, we really think this pose, I'm not taking it.
Could you read Armando's statement, Chloe? I'm trying to keep track of the chat as well.
This is why aesthetics are important, because it becomes a first impression that may be a lasting impression.
They just made him Mr. America
Mm-hmm.
with a Kennedy.
You know what's funny about this? That it don't have a background, familiar with Vanity Fair. The next year, he tried to get the nation to allow him to run for president.
That's right. He is now governor.
And that was the main picture they kept showing that picture.
That does not look like governor.
No.
That is not Arnold the governor. That's not what that is. That's Arnold the American man.
Yeah, the American man.
Next picture. Okay, now, that's your messaging. You can see how your image, you see how all that ties together, right? Okay, so what tools do you use for your message? You want to have a website? You want to have Facebook? I told you all last week, as a minister, if you're doing Facebook, you ought to have a Facebook for the church, but you ought to have a Facebook for yourselves, and they should be different. They are different messages, they are different images, so they ought to be different. Instagram, TikTok, podcasts, advertising, and a mailing list. Mailing list is virtual, is absolutely necessary, important, and that can be to your congregation, that can be to your community. Your congregation should be your base, and then broaden it out to your community. And I'm talking about how you communicate. You might be having a whatever at the church. That should go to the community. You might want to be telling your people in the church, blah, blah. But that's a mailing list that you ought to be able to have. Those are your tools for your messaging. Next. Okay, imaging. So your image is what people think about you. Your image is your church. What is the image of your church? The church, not you minister, the church. Then put you, the minister, into the church. What is it that you want to be? So when Walter Cronkite was doing the news on CBS, His image was the most trusted man in America, more trusted than the President of the United States. Why? Because he told you the truth. There's no laughter, there's no joke, there's no, oh, let me tell you what happened today. There's no casual. It is straightforward. This is what happened today on the news. You trust that.
Now,
You respond to that. Now, oh, ho, ho, ho. Gonna have a rainstorm tonight. Y'all better get in. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Let me tell you what Trump did today. Ho, ho, ho. It's casual.
talk about their families.
Let me tell you what my little girl did last night. Let me tell you what me and my wife had for dinner. You don't know, that wasn't him. Most trusted man in America was his reputation, it was his image, and it was his message. It was, there's no nonsense here. Straight ahead, forward.
Let me ask you then two things. Do you see with male guys, they can sometimes look fly?
What's that?
I mean, like they really dress real sharp, you know, they may come in with a colored jacket on one day, and I just had the
You know, a
impression.
newscaster.
Newscasters.
Mhm.
But it seemed like back in the day, those guys, like he looked there, just a black, blue
Navy
suit, dark
blue
suit,
White
and
shirt
that was it.
and a red tie, blue tie, gray tie, tie. Wasn't no red shirt, no striped shirt, and wasn't no,
No flowered
Busy.
But you
shirt
look
with
good though, bro.
wasn't, it wasn't busy.
So and then the second thing, and that's something my wife and I noticed, and I don't know if this is right or wrong. It seemed like there was a station, they would specialize in the women weathercasters. They all seem to be, whether it's short dresses or definitely sleeves out. Even though it's in the middle of winter, we're in Chicago, it seemed like that was intentional.
It is.
Okay.
So let me tell you where that comes from. So I believe I'm saying the name right, and I might not, but when Fox News came, all right, Alcorn, what was that man's name? Alton? The head of channel, head of Fox,
Locally.
national.
That's national.
Okay, his rule was women, short skirts, high heel shoes, cross your legs. Why? Because men like legs. That was his rule. And the image changed for women
So everybody started.
on TV. So once he started doing it, had some success with it, then women changed. And it set the trend. Sleeveless. I'm on TV. I can't tell you what I go through to pull my clothes. I'm looking for color. I'm looking for simplicity, because I gotta have some microphones on, right? But I'm looking for color, but I don't want you so caught up. I'm very conscious of my skirt, of my length. And I'm very conscious of my shoes. Because I don't want you to get caught up. Now, it don't work, because when I call somebody, I got a crew of women I call. Did you see the show? How'd you like the show? Oh, your hair looks so pretty. Oh, your makeup was so nice. Oh, I love your dress. Oh, where did you get the jewelry? Don't nobody comment on the show.
Yeah, it's like, that's what I want.
Did you see the show? Yeah, I saw it.
Rupert Murdoch.
What you think about the
Yeah,
show?
Rupert Murdoch.
That's what Amando just said, Rupert
Yeah.
Murdoch. I was
Short
trying.
skirts, high heel shoes,
But eventually.
not
the
only
lawsuit-
legs, bare legs.
Yeah, they don't.
Whereas the stockings go, right? Okay. That's the power of a woman on TV. Okay,
And when you go south, it's tight fit. It's tight.
next one, next slide. Okay, so here's imaging. So your image is what people think about you, what makes your image, and what do you want it to be? Now, we're gonna do a little exercise on what you want it to be, but I want to show you something. In your imaging, you can be creative, you can use your imagination, you can be out of the box in your thinking, and you can think beyond the pulpit. The pulpit is one thing, but what do you do outside the pulpit to attract? Want to show you something on TikTok. Corey Chloe, hit one of those for me, TikTok. This is a nun.
Exactly where it originates. Another prayer practice that I really like to use is the God box. And I'm not sure exactly where it originated or who originated it. There are differing ideas about that. So if you have any information on where this came from, please leave it in the comments. And all it is you take a box like this, it has a lid. And whenever you have a problem that you've been praying about, you've been really working on, agonizing over, you write the problem down on a little piece of paper and you put it in your God box. And there's something really great about the process of writing something down with your hand. Seeing it in writing provides a little bit of emotional distance for you. Putting it in a box gives you even more emotional distance from it. And spiritually knowing that you've put it in that box, you've designated it for God's inbox, it really gives you a little bit of relief. And it's really interesting at the end of the year, if you take your God box and you pull out all the things that you put into it, how many prayers were answered? There are some that God's still working on, or God didn't answer them in the way that you wanted. But in every answer from God, whether it's yes, no, or wait, there is a lesson and there is some kind of a process that we're not aware of that God is performing on our behalf. So I highly recommend getting yourself a God box, writing your problems down on it, putting it in the box, and seeing what happens at the end of the year. Let me know if it works.
Now, this is a nun. There's no fancy anything behind her. She is in the church, community room in the church, very plain, very simple. And her whole thing is she teaches you how to pray. Everything is prayer related. That's her thing. 2 million. Her gimmick is what? Prayer. She ain't preaching. She ain't telling y'all no stories. She just says, this is the way we pray. It's universal. Do the second one. This is TikTok, by the way.
One of my favorite quotes about prayer is attributed to Norman Vincent Peale. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that attribution. But he said, God does answer all of our prayers. He answers either yes, no, or wait a while. Some people get really frozen up when they try to pray. They don't know if what they're praying for is appropriate or if they're praying too much. If God has heard so many of the requests that God is saying, hold up, you've already asked me for too much. I always say, pray anyway. You're going to receive an answer. If it's not an appropriate thing to pray for, God will say no. Or wait, I've got something better for you down the road. Also, reminder, God's inbox is never full. We can pray all day. We can ask for anything we want. God's love is infinite. We never get to a point where God says, you again? Haven't you asked me for enough? It never happens. God loves us so much that I always try to remind people when we're going through something difficult, God is in the corner of the room waiting for us to ask for help. God is always available to us for help. Another one of my favorite quotes about prayer comes from the wife of Billy Graham, Ruth Graham. She said something along the lines of, I'm so glad that God doesn't answer all my prayers, because if he did, I would have married the wrong man several times. God knows what's right for us. God knows which answers should be yes, and God knows when to make us wait. So go ahead and pray. Go ahead and ask. See what happens.
So her staple is prayer. That's what she's teaching. That's what she's doing. That's her dialogue is prayer. She relates it. She makes God as a person. She's made God a person. And then she relates it. Graham, his wife, and then she related it to somebody else. So she's got 3 elements in there, but prayer is her staple. That's her constant. That's her image. She's Sister Prayer. Whatever her name is, she's Sister Maria, somebody, but whatever her name is, this is who you go to for prayer. She's teaching you how to cope. She's teaching you solutions to your problems. That's what she's doing. That's really what she's doing. She's got 2 million, and that's all she does. Does one, every day. We're gonna pray. She's out of the church. She's in the religion, but she is out of the church.
For the actual bill.
She's out of the building. You don't know where she is. She in the convent? Is she in a community hall?
You make it
Where is
feel like
she?
she's in your house.
She's in your
You
house.
look at it.
She's in your living room. But she's talking to you.
And like you said, when you look at the brand, I'm one of them, I look at everything. And I notice that how the only cross you see is the one that's around her neck, which represents I am religious, but
Not Catholic.
yeah, I'm just religious. It's no specific, and then she got a collar, it's symbolic of ministry. But she has no hair garb on, and her hair is done. I noticed she had the braid, she had it in the back. She didn't have the hair over her face, she didn't have no fancy hairdo.
Relatable.
Very relatable, and then nothing in the background, all it is the flower panel, is nothing else. It's not a picture, it's not an image, anything at all.
She's relatable. Next slide, please. Okay, so you create images. Images are created. You make them. You make your image what you want it to be. You change your image. Okay, now that's an image. What's that say to you? Contemporary, modern. For me, as I use this,
So. That's, see.
that's my Black History Month,
She remind me of the '70s.
huh?
She remind me of the '70s, that strong black woman. Who.
Let me see another image. That's another image.
So,
Does that say diversity?
sister.
Contemporary,
Yeah, well aware.
aware, relevant, on it,
I'm your sister, I'm your auntie.
relatable.
Very. See it. We can really see.
Do you know her? Do you see her? Where is she? What's she doing? Imagination. Okay, got another one? All right, now, I want to do some things with you today on imaging. And this is how you create an image, how you create your image. All right, I gotta have volunteers. All right, what is, we're gonna come up with? We'll come up with 5 things. So what I'm looking for and what I'm asking for, when I ask you what is your image, I'm looking at your characteristics. That's what I want you to give me at this point. What are your characteristics? What is your image? What do you want that to be?
Strong black.
Okay? Is strong by itself or strong black man one thing?
Strong by itself.
Strong by itself. Black male next?
Yeah. Trustworthy.
Trust. That's your back. Honest? Saying this trust, different than trust.
Different than trust. Protect.
Check. Okay, these go together, trust and honest. That's one thing. I can trust you, doesn't mean you're honest, you can be honest, don't mean I trust you. Strong, black male, protected, strong, protected, that goes together. Now, whatever you do, This is what we are relating to. Whatever we do, this is the principles that we're relating to. So that means your picture. What's your picture? I don't need you gardening.
Oh, no,
I don't need you running.
just saying.
I need you standing. So picture should be representative of you standing. All right? Black male, that takes care of itself all by itself. How do I relate trust and honesty?
Picture of me with a baby, christening or holding a baby.
Okay, so we want ceremony,
Mhm.
right? I want a baby. I want marriage. I want a wedding. I want a funeral. Okay, so you are relating to life cycles. That is your relatability. Protected. How do we look protected?
As me taking the pictures of man, with you, meaning from infant, the youth and, women.
There you go. Key
Young.
word.
Young,
Your here, your key there is with women and perhaps young boys. So that means for your image, these are the things that you are communicating. And through these things, you illustrate.
I think to take a picture to relate with honest, yeah, I will take a picture with the three different cycles, young, middle, old.
There you go.
Old. That
There you go.
shows honesty because your honesty will allow you to relate to all three stages of life.
Okay, so we don't want to be one, we want to relate to all of those cycles, all of the age groups of the life cycle. So that's, so when you do imaging, this is deliberate, this is thought about, this is considered, this ain't accidental, all right? This is you think about, what do I want to be? What do I want to communicate? Who am I talking to? You are saying something. So this becomes your statement. So everything that you do follows the image principles, if you will. That could be, I will give you an example. I have a friend, he's a businessman, all right? He's dark, he's a very, very dark man, all right? And he wears his khakis, a sports shirt, and buck shoes. No gym shoes, all right? And no sweatsuits. And at best, he's gonna take his tie off and put on a colorful shirt. That's it. That's his casual. And I have said to him, why don't you just put on, some sweats? He says, because police might stop me. And I'm like, look, I communicate better this way than a sweatsuit way. When I was doing Indigo as covers of the magazine, very, very, very conscious. It used to take 4 to 6 hours to do my pictures. But I was very conscious of what is this going to say? Who does it communicate to? I had a guy who was a surgeon. He was a brain surgeon at Northwestern University. And we did a story on him, cover story on him. Big guy, looked like a football player. Big hands, big guy. And I went to say, okay, we're gonna put on a suit. Suit, shirt, tie. And he said, no, you're not. I'm not gonna wear it. And I would be like, come on, it's a formal picture. He said, I'm a doctor. I'm putting on my
Scrubs.
scrubs. And we argued. And I said, why won't you put on a suit for me? He said, well, I want my scrubs. And I said, okay, Come on, tell me the real reason. Take me damn scrubs off. He said, I live in Highland Park. And sometimes I have an emergency. I gotta come from Highland Park to Northwestern Hospital. Sometimes I got to drive fast. If I get stopped, the most important thing I got is my hands. If I get stopped and the police say, where you going? And he got on scrubs and tags. He got all Northwestern, he got his tags on. He said, if I get stopped and I get out the car, if I got my scrubs on, they believe I'm a doctor. If I say I have an emergency surgery and I got my tags on, they believe me. And they will then escort me to the hospital. He said, if I got on a sweatsuit, I got on a jumpsuit, I got on some jeans, he said, they won't believe me. He said, and then they could handcuff me and mess up my hands.
Mhm.
And he said, the only time I take these scrubs off is for a black tie event. When they come off. He said, now you tell me what color of scrubs to wear, but you gonna take this picture with me in my scrub.
You know, that's funny you say that, my wife.
And then wait a minute, the next question was, he said, how many neurosurgeons do you know?
Yeah.
How many black neurosurgeons do you know? He said, so when that white policeman stops me, that young rookie cop stops me, and I say I'm a neurosurgeon, guess what? They don't believe me in the first place. But if I got my scrubs on, and I got my identity on, he said, I can prove who I am very quickly. And then I can get escorted to the hospital. He said, I can't have no handcuffs on my hands. We can't play that at all. Give you another example. You all remember when Michael Jordan and Pippen and what's the crazy one's name?
Rodman.
Rob, when they played. If you remember, when they came out to meet the press, they did not have basketball clothes on. They had on suits. What's the reason for that?
Image.
It was image.
And.
But
and the
Michael
way
would
you
say,
address it.
This,
I gotta go to Highland Park. And they had gotten stopped before I put on my suit. I don't look like a basketball player. I look like a businessman
And
in Highland Park. That's right.
And, and whether he knew it or not, I'm assuming maybe somebody did. Michael Jordan really set the bar as having his own corporation.
That's right.
The imagery that the fact that he's still the seller that he is, well after his playing career is over.
Business.
He's definitely business. He's a mogul.
There you go.
Because if you really think about it, and I now we're in this class, I don't think people have paid attention.
Oh, no.
You've never ever seen Michael in sweats or anything unless he was in the court, at the court.
That's right. Oh, well, we're
When you
doing,
see Michael on the golf course, Michael dressed to the yard, even though he in golf clothes, he dressed to the
Still
yard.
nice golf clothes.
Right. So do I have some questions or do I have, I would like to do imaging again. I can't read this, y'all. You gotta help me.
I'll help you.
Perhaps you wanted to do,
That was back.
Oh, these are, oh, yeah.
yes, you want your arms, all right.
She was talking about, when you were talking about, just women showing their arms, and she was speaking specifically about Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but these are older comments. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so we're,
So can I get a lady that I can do imaging with? No?
can we get one?
Come on now.
Just one.
I gotta have one.
So, brother,
I can't get nobody?
Brooke said no.
I can.
brother, shake her
You
head.
gotta be voluntold. Can you do yours?
He smiling.
Do me?
Yeah.
No, I ain't no business. I can't get nobody?
Chloe, would you do it? I'm sorry, Daddy putting you on the spot.
What do you need me to do?
We know that voice.
I'm gonna do imaging with you. No
Do
one
I
do
need
it.
to show my face? I'm on the move.
You need to talk to me.
Okay, I got
All right.
about 5 minutes.
All right, so here's 5 minutes, Floyd. So you are a world traveler and you have lived in Sweden and you have lived in France, right?
Yes,
Switzerland.
I've lived
Yeah.
in Switzerland and France. Well,
Okay, it's our image. What do you want that image to be of you?
classy, established, a scholar. That's what comes to mind. Educated,
You said
and
classy, scholar, educated. What was the fourth one?
I guess maybe
Established.
charismatic.
It's funny you say that picture.
Explain established.
Which one?
Established.
Just holding myself to a standard as a African American woman in Europe, knowing that there's different stereotypes that are being created, and not trying to prove them wrong, but just making sure that I know who I am and how I portray myself.
How do we do this image wise with your look?
I wear business casual everywhere when I'm in Europe. Blouses, pants, skirts, and dresses.
Blouses. Want me to tell you what I noticed about you when you were here last time?
Yes, ma'am.
Pearls.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's a universal language for women. Pearls. I got on pearls. I am a
Baby.
baby. Pearls. What else?
Classic.
Hair. Right? Then you're probably gonna speak a certain way. Probably not gonna be loud. This becomes the manifestation of this. This is what I want to communicate. So you ain't walking up to nobody talking about, hey, what's happening in Sweden? What's going on? You're probably not doing that. It's the wrong image. Okay? Tell you another story. When Reverend Jackson ran for president and did the address in the DNC, I didn't go to Atlanta because he and I got into an argument on who was gonna pay for everything, and it wasn't gonna be me. And if you want me, you're gonna pay. Okay, so we had our little private argument. And then about 2 days before, he said, you gotta come down here, I need you for real. Okay, no problem. And the question was, what do I wear? That was the question, what do I wear? So we had the navy blue suit, right? No, we're gonna wear a navy blue suit. But we went through crisis on the tie. So the political tie is red or blue. He didn't want to wear blue. He didn't want to wear it. He said, I ain't wearing it. I ain't gonna be looking like that. And I went to every store, haberdashery. No, I went to the big stores. I went to the big stores first. Can't have no plaid tie, can't have no print tie, can't have no stripy tie. We don't want to do that. And then I finally said, I need a haberdashery. Does Atlanta have a haberdashery? Ron Brown took me to a haberdashery. So guess what the solution was? It was a gray tie. Gray indicates what? Formality. But it's classy. And it's a little hip. But it's a little formal. Got all the little stuff in it. But it ain't red. And it ain't blue. So it's a gray tie. With a blue shirt. Light blue shirt. Black men, blue shirt on TV. Y'all don't wear no white shirts on TV. Wear blue, light blue.
Could you talk about that?
Cause the light bounces.
Light bulb.
Off the white.
The light bounces off the white.
Right.
Blue warms you. Blue warms your skin. We're brown. You want some warmth. I don't want that light bouncing because the light bounces off the shirt and then your skin gets all goofball. Y'all notice the black men on TV? What do they have on? They have on blue shirts for the most part. That's why.
I didn't know that.
See?
I never, cause I have a ton of white, I mean, obviously this is a little different, but when I'm preaching, I typically wear white shirts.
That's okay.
Okay.
Not on TV.
Not on TV.
Not on TV. Well, but if you're on Facebook and you're on Zoom,
You can
you should have,
soften,
okay,
you can soften, but still, it's a whole different lighting system.
got it. Thank you.
Welcome.
So I wanna, you've been wonderful. I wanna make sure I get some of the those who are online involved. Could you all please, and oh, look who we have here. Dr. David Wallace. Glad to have you here. You at our last session. I'd like to lift him up as we're talking about Jesse. We want to lift up one of the co-founders of the Bread Basket Movement. Oh, and my wife is about to come in. But you all, let's just celebrate for a second while we have this wonderful gentleman, Dr. David Wallace, who helped to co-found Bread Basket here in the Chicagoland area, and he's here with us today learning. You guys have any questions, comments, any reflections that you'd like to share with us? We want to make sure that you're included, and I'm talking specifically to those of you who are online. Don't be shy. Don't make me start calling your names, Dr. Minister, Ministry Conference Director Terrell Murph. Don't make me call your names. Tell me, Dr. Murph, what are your reflections after hearing today?
You called me anyway, huh? I think that for the most part, it was wonderful understanding image and what image portrays and how people receive different images. And it just brings to my attention how important what we wear and how we present ourselves allow other people to build and conceive images of us. So that was the main thing is the image and the power in images, and the power in nonverbal images. And I'd like to thank you for that.
Okay, I want to stir the pot a little bit because Sharita, I was paying attention to you, and you had some comments and you had some concerns. And so if you don't mind, I'd like to hear from you because you kind of gave us a counter narrative and way of seeing things. Any reflections?
I just wanted it to be aware that when that portrait did its visitation, I went downtown, and of course with the whole wide range of other people, when we looked and we saw, and like I said, I didn't get that impression. That was not my impression. So, and I understand that we all have different opinions and different viewpoints, but they are the first. They are different, and being different every now and then. And if we were to say, okay, yes, make sure you look the same way, no, we're different. And every now and then, my favorite color is orange. So I'm going to wear something bright, but I'm still going to be professional about it. I'm still going to present myself in a way that, does not degrade or does not reflect negatively. So I just didn't feel, that's just me. But I do understand as far as when branding, when we look at things, when we see things, how they might impact other people. But especially in this generation that we're in, and she was talking about the how at the church, how you had the different generations. We're trying to reach a whole different group of people nowadays. And those different people, we can't sometimes, unfortunately, we won't be able to do the same things that we did before. And as she said, she has to rebrand herself every 10 years. And I understand that because we're dealing with a whole different group of people. And dealing with that whole different group, we got to meet them. Not saying that we need to make ourselves less, but we still need to meet them.
So it's not less, when you talked about the pictures, I think you're talking about the official portraits
Yes.
of Michelle. Okay, so my questioning that is absolute is sitting down. When you stand up, yeah, you're authoritative when you stand up. When you sit down, you give that up. If you sat in the did a sermon versus standing up in the pulpit, it's a whole different sermon. It's a different communication. It's just different.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, you know what, I think about President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, who at that particular time, he was dealing with his issues and he was forced to be in a wheelchair. And I do understand that, you know, he wanted to portray that and to portray that his wife was standing beside him to give him that role, to have him stand up, to show that authority. But yet again, there are times when he couldn't. So therefore he was in that wheelchair. So they made that wheelchair different. So it was like, yeah, he's sitting down, but it's not a wheelchair to show authority. But we're just not going to show a wheelchair. So
he was sitting down, he was never portrayed as a cripple. He was never portrayed as a handicap. He was never portrayed
I agree with you. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I went to Atlanta recently, his figures, they have him in this wheelchair, but they don't show him. But still, you know, we know the facts that he was, you know, he dealt with his health issues.
Look at the man from Texas, to your point, the governor of Texas.
Yeah.
Who sent migrants all over.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Him on TV.
Right.
Yes.
You don't see the wheelchair. You see him waste. You see power. You see control. Okay, that's my point. I was say some people that he's in a wheelchair, but you see him waste stuff.
Linda Oglesby, you have a statement?
Yes, I do. I wanted to chime in because I've seen over the years how Hermene has worked with your image, and it's not limited to America. When you look at the African American churches and personalities, you're only looking at it from one perspective, but we tend to be worldwide. Hermene worked with a female ministry that garnered 8,000 members at one point because she always kept everyone on point with presenting themselves. And I can say emphatically, because I've traveled Africa, India, China, Europe, they look at us as models. I've seen the African ministries where the women have an image of, for example, the Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. They tried to emulate her, not because Johnny was aware that anyone saw her, but the image that she always projected was a classy, spiritual leader. So she's, this presentation is emphasizing not to limit yourself to any area because you're worldwide. You're worldwide. And that speaks volume right there. So thank you, Hermene. You've done an excellent job.
Thank you.
Sharon Saunders.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. What I have to say kind of piggybacks on what Reverend Linda was saying. We used to be in our pulpits in our little neighborhoods on the corner. Maybe people would come from different states and cities to see us, to visit and this and that. But we have to be aware that now our images are being broadcast worldwide. Just like Reverend Linda said, just like the young lady Chloe was saying, she's worldwide. And so we're no longer that little church on the corner, or that, our image has to kind of shift with us going a bit more global, a bit more than what we were. And that's what my comment is. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that is to be emphasized, and emphasized, because you are, and that's through your Facebook, that's through your TikTok. The nun that we saw, where is she? We don't know. and we don't care. This was years ago when Facebook was relatively new. There were a group of Nigerian women who came here. They were business women. And they came to Chicago to do something. But anyway, I was a keynote speaker for them. And I was talking to them about, my newspaper was very vibrant at that time, and I was talking to them about newspaper and how important it was for this, that, and the other, and what the newspaper did and what and one lady raised her hand and she said, "Oh, we read Indigo." And I said, "You read Indigo where?" And she said, "Online." My whole conversation had to change because she was like, "Why do you think we came to Chicago, Ms. Hartman?" I was like, "I don't know." And she said, "We wanted to meet you. We wanted to meet some other Black business women, blah, blah." But she knew the audience. And I went to a meeting thinking I was gonna meet with some Nigerian women, and I really didn't know who my audience was because it was a universal audience, and I didn't really get that. I didn't realize that. So, but you understand that it's important. You are not the local community church. You are of the universe.
Yes.
At this time, and that's the point to be made. That's the real point.
I wanna, we got 5 minutes left, but I would be remiss if I did not mention why we're doing what we're doing today as far as the meal for the day. It's very important to emphasize that we're having tacos today, but there's a reason for that. And it's an outgrowth from a conversation we had in our last gathering, where Reverend Neal, who is seated here, asked the question about the algorithms in Facebook. And why was it the case that whenever he talked about tacos, he got more views, but when he wanted to bring up more substantive conversation, he didn't get the same kinds of views. So could we just very quickly touch on that, how we address that? And I want you all to know we're having tacos for our meal today.
So one of the things that he pointed out is that he got more response from his tacos encounter than he did his church encounter. So perhaps the tacos was relatable, perhaps the tacos was casual, and perhaps something he said when he was doing tacos, I didn't see it, so I don't know what he did, but maybe he did something with the tacos that attracted. Obviously it did, because he got viral response. So the suggestion was, like the nun, perhaps your ministry or your message could be tacos. Tacos, blah, blah, let's talk. Tacos, Black men, come, let's talk. Tacos, fellow minister, let's talk. But the talk would be over the tacos, perhaps. That's a way. Now I got homework. I got a homework assignment. Okay, so next week, here's one assignment that I want you to look at for now. I want you to look at on Prime Video. What is it? Prime, Amazon Prime. I want you to look at Melania Trump. I want you to look at the documentary. First half of the documentary, okay, you're on your own, look at it. But I want you to look at that second part of the documentary to understand image with no voice, image with one message. Pretty lady, well attired, model, designer, and every time we ask her a question, her answer is, "Donald would be my husband, such a great president. He is strong and he is smart." Okay, so how do you feel about the weather today? Well, today, Donald would be a great president because he is my husband. Let me tell you about my husband, Donald. Let me tell you about President Trump. And then she goes on with something this blah, blah, blah. The point is how the image has been built. There are a group of women in Texas who are modeling themselves physically after her, which means plastic surgery. They want the look of the cheeks, they want the look of the everything, and they're going to have plastic surgery so that they can look like her, so they too can get a rich husband. Honest to God, it's true. I want you to look at it. Okay, now for next week, here's your homework. Next week, we're gonna do artificial intelligence.
And that's the week after next. Yeah.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
our third
It's
session.
genetics next week.
Artificial intelligence. I don't want you to be afraid of it. I want to teach it to you. I want you to learn how to use it. So this is what I need. I need 3 people to send me a paragraph, preferably from a sermon or a speech that you have made. That's all I need is a paragraph. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2 is I need you to give me your preparational thinking for a new sermon or a new speech. I want to show you how it works. We're going to do artwork, we're going to do logo, we're going to do some speeches, and we're going to do some background. I'm going to show it all to you next time with artificial intelligence and how to use it. A lot of folks are afraid of it. You cannot be afraid of it because it's here. It's going to be in very short order. Like, do you have a TV? Or do you have an iPhone? Or do you have whatever? But it's here, and I want to teach you at least what I know about it. It's changing every day. Every week they got a new something. But I want to show you how, I want to demonstrate to you how you might use this. So if you've got 3 speeches, 1 paragraph, I want you to send it to Brian. And if you've got something you want to speak about, you haven't written a speech yet, send it to Brian. And we'll use those in the classroom to demonstrate.
Thank you, Hermene, for the
Thank
wonderful
you.
presentation. Thank you, audience. Before we leave, Dr. Murphy, I'm gonna pick on you again. Could you close us out with a prayer? You're welcome to stick around as we have tacos with our after conversation.
Thank you. Let us bow. Lord and gracious God, we thank you for the beauty of this day. We thank you, oh God, for Hermene and how she shared so much valuable information of image and how we, oh God, portray you in the things that we do. And so, God, we thank for those who attended, those who were here and had to leave. We ask that you bless the food, that those that are in person about to receive may nourish their bodies so they can do your work. And for that, we do thank and praise you. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Thanksgiving. Amen.
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 David, how are you, sir? David, unmute. Have to acknowledge, or should I just unmute him? Yeah.
You have to do it.
David. There you go.
Dr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Hartman presented a brilliant conversation this morning, and I want to thank you for it. And I know it's Taco Tuesday. You all enjoy. Thank you.
All righty. And good to see all of you. Thank you, Sharita, for your balancing our conversation. Deneen and Christina, Sharita, my brother Armando, my Iota brother, and David Watkins. Good to see all of you. Good to see. He's McCormick Theological Seminary. As I was sharing with you, we got other seminaries that are connected here.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you all.
We also had 300 viewers on the TikTok live. And I got some new followers because of you, so thank you.
You got 300?
Viewers, for your presentation, all across the world. Yeah.
Is Marie here?
Wow.
Who set up this?
Sean came up with
Bless her. Okay, so we have food outside, guys.
Okay. You already blessed it for him. That was for blessing too. Bless somebody else's food. Bless somebody else's food.
Yeah, for your live.
You want to
Thank you.
I thought he called your name out. In the invitation. God Adams. Yeah.
That's a gift.
So we got a Greek room here, Kappa,
Oh, okay.
Omega.
Take off. Well,
I hope this was helpful.
you know, the Bible says that God is Alpha and Omega, it say nothing about no Kappas. All in love, all in love.
So is this helpful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, I noticed the difference, between this presentation and the last one. Viewership goes up when you lean in and you listen, and we gotta, then I see people come on. Cause you know, cause they're scrolling, they say, oh wait, what is she saying? And Barack, no, that wasn't, now I get to see the views go up. Yeah, so engagement is a big piece of social media as well. Anything that was somewhat either controversial or you're saying, now what does that look like for you? That I'll know people come in and they will stay. Because like, oh, what is this? Now, what does that communicate to you? And what, now let me ask you this, I noticed that as I started to talk to people about presenting, to encourage them to be themselves and to really lean into what they're doing, yeah, versus just kind of, and then we have that, and then, you know.
Yeah.
And to use the vernacular. Yes, to just talk to us, you could tell we were preaching, you could tell you're a professional with the audience. Now you know good, now you do your pulpit, and I know some people do. I think, respond to the comments, because, you know, I'm, right, and I'm trying to learn too. But I'm like, okay, this is.
So here's something I learned with our PowerPoint. So last time I did television, yes, but I did it separate in the PowerPoint rather than included in the PowerPoint. Yeah, they came out better. Because the audio was good. That wasn't good, and I had points in there, because that's a very well done thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show you various old people, quiet, young people. I wanted to show you all of that. And then I wanted to hear him talk, but the sound was so bad, we couldn't get through it. So we need to do, if we're gonna do a video, we need to do it separate.
Or we can, this is more bright, it's not, y'all shouldn't be worried about that. But we just need to tell Chloe there's a button when you share the presentation that it's hard to find, it says share audio. If you hit the share audio button, you'll hear just like you're at home.
Canada has different school systems, it's really like different school systems.
We did audio good last time. I took TV stuff. That was excellent. You could hear it and everything. This was.
She was sharing the room audio, so the audio, like on Sundays, if I do, like I'll do some worship from YouTube.
Okay.
And if you share the YouTube, I have to tell my daughter to go in and she'll share the audio right from YouTube. Instead of you just play it, you're getting the
But
group.
the TikTok.
Yes, but you're sharing
That worked very well.
But
Yeah.
that's from actual website, it's just like a time bubble through Zoom.
Yeah,
So it's like, you have to do a different audio.
you have to share the audio from the actual video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But TikTok is the audience is growing way faster on TikTok.
But TikTok is very snappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have TikTok?
Yeah, but I do TV show.
Oh, yeah.
I don't do what I should be doing
But you're
because I got too much going
And
on.
you gotta do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, TikTok is very like snappy.
yes.
Like people with when I do my TikTok, like, it's very, that's it. And the top ones, like, everything's on top of it. Well, we live in London, I love to go with you. TikTok. Yeah, people do so. And like, people just love watching things about trending, even if it's like, you know, not have everything going on.
Yeah.
You could literally blow up in TikTok. Can you hire it? Yeah.
Can you find yourself
And the guy that does the taco thing.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Oh, nothing.
Oh, he.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, so trying to keep it on and people about, I don't know if it's the best design.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look at the label on the pan, that's the kind of top of what you can get.
And then just be.
Yes, I'm gonna take some break.
Well, we come through now.
So tell me about your church. Tell me about your church.
I'm in Bronzeville.
Oh, you are aware?
We're 30 Drexel.
Okay.
We took over a public school that was closed in 2012.
Made it a church.
It's a community center and a church. So it's a non-for-profit. So our ministry is shifted and we do more than just church. We have a non-for-profit, we focus on health, literacy,
Good.
and leadership.
Leadership.
Yeah, so I read to kids in schools, we work with hospital systems like Northwestern, University of Chicago. We try to get people healthy. We have health classes, fitness classes, but we also have health seminars too. Talk about cancer, work with Lori Cancer Society. Society Center. And part of that stems because I came from Salem Baptist.
Oh.
That's my-
You were rubbing me?
Yep.
Okay, good.
So I did from 95 to 2008. So it kind of opened up, my thinking about ministry being more outside of the pulpit, outside of the four walls.
You good? Yeah. Where's your church?
Yeah, I'm moving right now.
I'm gonna move my computers and stuff out.
6111
You got something to drink?
South Kenwood, right?
Get down.
Right here.
You can one?
6111 South Kenwood. First my having the street back, in the process of that is the whole renovation.
Oh, you got a renovate.
Oh, yeah, yeah. When I,
Now, who's
came-
your contact? Do you see the people from University of Chicago?
No, some of the ones I have, this is my second year.
Okay.
My second year. Many of them though grew up in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
They're from the gym, they grew up in this neighborhood. And so, through that's my intention and plan. That's something that Mr. Hill and that animal, because my plan, even when they elected me as pastor, I came to look at the church, one of the person I said that being, a educator, being familiar with, university life, so, I would love for our church to be, a place where, Chicago Law Students can actually send their, seminary students and they can practice. They can do baptism. Their sermons, they can do Bible, teach Sunday school, even so much as they want to, form actually the college ministry, I don't have no problem with them. They can form here the church, and the religious, I worked in the church as the head of ministry, but the ministry will be there. We support them in percent if they want to have programs, so they're able to practice before they get actually go into pastoring. That's one of the things that hurts so many seminary students of our color, is because as soon as they go to seminary, first thing you want to do, you want to send them to go sit as a deacon or social minister. You know, I had a PhD in ministry, I was still on deacon. Wow. I wasn't even minister in training. Wow. My pastor took me down to Memphis with him. He went to go speak in Memphis. The pastor said, man, there's something about you. Let me talk to you for a minute. So we got to talking, and you know, we got talking about the Bible, and then he said, man, you real interesting gentleman. So he said, you got a car? I said, yes, sir. When I gave him my car, he said, we got a doctorate in ministry and a master of divinity. In what? I said, well, I said my master of divinity is church administration, my doctor of ministry is in pastoral ministry. He said, and you a deacon? He was like, oh no, man, you got to be kidding me. He was and sure enough, God bless his soul. Went out, he got 2,500 members in there. First time I ever saw him in my life. I never saw him ever before in my life. First time I ever met him. Stood before his congregation, called his son up there, who was the assistant pastor. He said, look, he said, Lord called me home. This is what I want to do on you. I'm like, now mind you, I'm not in the pulpit. I'm sitting in my proper position as the deacon. And so his chairman said, wait a minute, Pastor. He a legend. He said, no. He said, his pastor just don't want to accept who he is. He said, you make sure you talk to me the number. Fast forward, 15 years past. Wow. She said, Daddy went home, so we need you to come down to Memphis. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. When I got down there, you know, that same deacon, he's still living.
He's still there, huh?
He said, why he here? I said, because this is what my daddy wanted. Give my daddy gave us everything he had. Why can't we give him what he wants? He's all about what? He is a minister now, so she won. But I told him, and the wife said, you know, we've been meaning to call beforehand, and he told us, nope, I ain't coming nothing. He said, well, I would give him. He said, part of ministry is you accepting assignments and remembering what God has told you. And I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from all of them. None at all. Coming one thing. Went back. I said, wow.
Was it helpful for you all to see the images, the magazine cover?
Yeah.
Was that kind of pictures wasn't thousand words?
And I'm learning too with engagement. I was holding, people would hold longer when I would show the image and they could hear your voice behind the image to know what you're talking about. There were times where I stayed on you. If you were emphatic about something, I knew to go to you because that's why people was like, stop scrolling. Then when I put on the image that you were talking about, maybe for 3 minutes or engage us, I think we had at one time, maybe 20-some people at one time staying there watching. So I know now, like what brings engagement. Not only do they need to stop scrolling, they need to stay there for a while. Right, so my account, my page goes up when I have engagement for more than like 30 seconds.
Do you think? Now, there's some people. You have to be very careful when you start talking about the rock, but some people are, I don't know what it is, the rock item. Anything you say, critical, is wrong. Those are the worst pictures I've ever seen. I was so upset with those pictures.
Yeah.
And Steve, what you're speaking about, people don't understand, you're talking about the language of color and movement. And so.
Sitting down. Also bringing the president in. I understand they do that.
It's iced tea.
Well, not only that, and even when you're doing it, the many comments, we have to look at it from this perspective. What you're bringing us is something that we as people, we're not taught.
Yes.
In this new generation. After the 70s, we were taught, you know, do whatever you want to do, however you want to do what you feel. And not realizing that no matter where you go, if I take and send for you right now to go to Taiwan, no matter how much of an Asian, you are a Black woman.
Period.
And whatever you do, they're not going to say, oh, Dr. Mashee did it. No, that Black woman, and that's what Black women do. And, you know, and because that has not been overemphasized in the community, that you carry a whole race with you everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, that's why for years, I own 2 pairs of jeans. It's never been I've never been this anywhere. And then as far as like the sweatpants, as an athlete, college athlete, I did wear them, but the image is portrayed every time I see me, hey, coach. So, you know, but that's that imagery that you get off the back with coach. No, I ain't coaching nothing, no, I ain't. But like you said, when I was in college, I got stopped, which is why I didn't name my son before. I stopped to me, I got stopped. It was very traumatic to me. I was freshman in college. Landon Green was driving 115 miles an hour in a Mustang G2. I'm in the backseat, on the passenger side. Police pulled us over. There's 4 of us in the car, 3 white and me. Pulled us over. Said, where's your driver? Well, what? I wasn't driving. He said, yes, you were. Said, man, I'm in the backseat. What are you talking about? He said, well, like I said, give me a son. I'm like, okay. I'm out here, first thing in my mind, my mama told me before I left, said, boy, you came around the white folks, you gonna get buy you somewhere there. Like, give up my license. You run my name. He said, we've been looking for you since 1962. You under arrest. I'm like, me? No, you haven't. Man, I wasn't born till 68. What are you talking about? Right. Sure enough. Locked me up. Drove me to in the middle of nowhere. What saved me was I called my auntie. Called my auntie down here in South Carolina. I said, hey, they got me down here in jail. I'm in Ozark. I don't even know where the town is. But I can tell you this, the dirt is not even black here. Well, Amy, I need for you somehow, some way to get a copy of my daddy, with my granddaddy, birth certificate, death certificate. Really, I need a copy of the death certificate. That's going, and sure enough, she sent the copy. The one was from my granddaddy who had been dead since 65.
But why was he saying?
He ran Odell Sterling instead of running my name. My name was Odell Sterling III. He ran Odell Sterling. The chief of the police when he comes in, he said, Sterling. I said, yes, sir. That's my name. He said, man, that was a hell of a game you had. Saturday night. What you doing in here? I said, he arrested me because he said it was a warrant for my arrest since 1962. He said 62. Boy, you wasn't even in a conversation since 62. He said, boy, what? Get him up out of there. So when I walked out, he said, wait a minute. I knew you from somewhere else. He said, oh no, sir. Now I'm scared. I'm like, right, I'm almost out. He said, Reverend Al. I said, yes, sir. That's my in the radio. He said, Southern Baptist Convention. I said, yes, sir. He said, she used to have you there all the time. I said, yes, sir. Right on my side. He said, get this boy out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drive you back to school. Wow. Drive me back, show you how God works, and it makes a difference. We go back to school, get a visa. Do you got the Southern Baptist religion? Are you getting a scholarship at South Carolina University? I said, no, nothing about it. You know, I'm getting football scholarship. He said, okay, well, no problem. He said, I tell you what, he said, my wife gonna be up here tomorrow. My wife comes see you tomorrow, whatever she had to give. Until I left that school, I got $1,500 check every semester. Every semester. And it just, when you say about that imaging. Now, had he got me and I was dressed up, I didn't have sweats and all that stuff. And so when he saw me, he could relate to me because I was looking the way I do whenever I went to convention with my wife.
That's what this doctor was saying. This doctor was saying, I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
They can't handcuff my hand. I don't want nobody touching my hand. Cause this is what I do. And I'm gonna take pictures in my semi, in my truck. Period.
You know, one thing I do to, kind of show you about the imaging and the dress. When I go to funerals, I was a random funeral.
Okay, let me get my card.
9 times out of 10,
Come in and join us.
people will automatically know that I'm the officiant
Cause of how you're a tiger.
for 2 reasons. People just don't even wear suits to funerals anymore.
Nope.
I'm talking even immediate family. So between a suit and the Bible, you wouldn't know who's officiating the service because nobody wears suits. And so that's why that picture, to a lot of people, they would say it's okay because it looks casual. And I mean, I know what you're saying and what we're thinking, but also thinking how they're thinking as well. People don't even own suits anymore. Some men, and back in the day, what was it?
You talking about the president?
No, not the president. I'm talking about in general. Society has gotten so comfortable that when you do see a suit, it freaks people out. They're not even used to it. We're talking about it as professionals, but the average person, they just don't even wear suits anymore.
And they don't sell them in a lot of the places anymore.
So some of well, 2 things, and I might say this, talk a little bit about this in my session. One is sometimes we are blessed by and also inconvenienced by bubble thinking. And that is the thinking, the prevailing thoughts, and how the culture is in our sphere of influence. And you know that when you leave home and go to college. If you leave college, then you go out to the world with it, right? And some of it is matching what people think, and some of it is dressing to lead people to another place. That's how that's how I've been influenced. So that's one thing is sometimes you dress or you create an image to bring people somewhere else where they haven't been yet. And then the other part is how dressing makes you feel. So I do a class called confidence class. That's nothing to do with dressing, but eventually I'll tell a story about how I usually wear a vest. It has very little to do with style and more to do with the person who, I think I told the story that someone once saw something and he started stating myself. And the problem about that is they treated me where they saw God could take me, they didn't treat me based on how I deserved at the time. And I like to say they saw the Dr. James at the knucklehead James levels. Where this, I'm talking about Walter Baldwin. Well, this mentor always wore a vest. So I wear a vest because of what that means to me. Now, me wearing a vest, some people might say, well, that's kind of old fashioned. Yeah, but it gives me certainty. I'm more confident in that vest because that vest represents all of my background, so it's normal for me to hear a pastor go, man, he automatically knows how to speak to people. Way back then, when you talk to the police, it's how you dress, but it's also how you speak to people. He has a preacher's voice. That's that vest. He's a great storyteller. That's that vest. So I put my vest on as honoring all those who came before me. 3 of them were women, right? Who prepared me. Well, they won't let me preach, little James, but here, this is what you do when you go into the pulpit. Here's what you got to remember. Always care more about the people and what they can do for you. Those all came from women. I'm not gonna wear a dress, but that vest represents all of those people. So when I stand up into a space, my confidence why I'm confident took place before I got to the stage. But all of that stuff that happened means everything with how I show up in the moment, how I'm on the telephone, how I'm closing the deal, how I'm in front of whether it's 1 or 1,000. That stuff came from by what shaped me. So I said all that to say, now I got 3 younger guys that I'm mentoring. Doc, where can I get me a vest? Now they don't look like my vest, the vest that they wear, because they have the story, because I have the story about the vest. Some of that is how I dress makes me feel. I can't wear no skinny pants. I'm not gonna be confident.
I agree with you. I ain't wearing no short dress.
You all familiar with I Am a Gentleman, Hermene Hartman?
I've had him on the show.
Okay.
He's doing a wonderful job.
That dude, oh my God, have you seen his new place? It's on 35th, just west of White Sox Park. He has a boutique now.
Is that right?
But you can look him up. If I ever see this brother without a suit and tie,
But he's teaching the young boys how to wear suit and tie.
I mean, I'm talking about everything, just a casual meeting. Like you would never see him in a polo shirt. You look good, Doc. But every time you see this brother, and he wears like really sharp, bright stuff, pink jacket, yellow jackets, sharp ties. And what he's doing is in the image.
That's it.
So it's sort of what you reminded me, like the confidence that they have being around somebody like
But
that.
for us,
Just like you'll never see me without a hat.
the kind of work that
Okay.
you all do, it's imperative. And it's not the big thing, it's the little thing. So let me give you 2 examples. I represented Johnny Coleman, I worked with her. I had a 2-story in and when I do PR, I don't turn my person loose, I keep moving. 3-story in the city. And the board said he wanted 2 ministerial comments on her before completing the story. So I said, okay, fine, who's going to? He went to the cardinal
Wow.
and asked the cardinal about rationality. And I hit this field and I said, wait a minute, hold it. It ain't gonna work. The cardinal don't have not one female in there that's a minister.
Nope.
So he can't pass no judgment on her. That just doesn't work. You can't do that. You gotta scratch that.
No, you can say it.
No,
And what's he gonna say? That she shouldn't be in full with in the first place? That's what he gonna say, because that's what he do. That's how he acts. So he and I got into a big ride. I said, would you go to the Pope? Would you go to Johnny Coleman and ask her what she thinks about the Pope? Because if you ain't gonna reverse that, then you should be this alone. Because that night, you can go any black man who you want, so some of them gonna say she ain't got no business too, but at least they understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
But you can't go to the Pope,
No.
I mean, to the cardinal,
He has no one.
be on that Pope. And, we got into a big hurrah, but I don't know where he was going, but that's what you ain't gonna get right one. And then I'm gonna tell y'all one more.
Here you go, John.
So Reverend, Dr. Paul's gonna present along with our other, Oh, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
You know, it's not flipping over. I should have had it. I had the flyer too.
That's what we have to do, and,
yeah,
we had good numbers today, a lot of people online.
my mother's great.
Way at one point.
She's great me hats. I got,
You did?
I wore hats. I've been wearing hats.
Is that good? What you have last time?
About 4 years old.
Overall, about 21.
So 20 is your average. That's good, huh?
And every now and then I switch it up too, though, 'cause I'm a cyclist. So when I ride in the morning, of course, I got my cycle gear, I got my hat on. 'Cause I'm not only getting my exercise, but I'm representing health.
Yep.
Then sometimes I come in, if I have a funeral that day, I throw the suit on. And then I'll show them, one ministry, 2 uniforms. Because there are times when I go into schools, I also come either suited or casual. Because the kids need to see you that relatable. But then also I sent a message to the dads, and I got a school that does a really good job of getting fathers in. Cause a lot of them, some of them have records or felonies and stuff like that, and they don't feel welcome or think they can even be in the school. But when they can come and sit next to an attorney, and they all coming for the same reason, I'm here to support my kid. So they may come in sagging, they may come in, with their stuff on, it don't matter, they're still being a dad. So they look over and see this dude in gym shoes, oh, you're passing this, my son talks about you. So in that case, it's okay to mix it up and do different things. But I do agree, when you're taking like an official picture, that's what we was really talking about. The official picture, you don't have to be so casual that you come down and stop being who you are.
But people got to get who you are.
Yeah,
Get who you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we do. We help people take the guesswork out of it. You should have to guess.
Last time when we went to lunch, we talked about Charles computers.
Yes.
So. The Carlton came here. Drafts. Hanging. I said, and. He was doing that Pentecostal stuff, but it wasn't working in that environment. So I could talk to him and say, probably, should I go get the name of YouTube?
Yeah. Oh.
I can't dress it up now. You gotta go get the name of YouTube.
Yeah.
You look like I'm impressions.
Right. It's too much.
It's too much for this church.
People don't take you serious.
They don't take you seriously.
Know your audience.
So we did, we did that. And here's what he did one Easter. And it was the downhill, it was a downhill move. He put on a white robe, like the Pope. It was a Pope robe. Long, decorated in the front, wobble. And he came on that stage, that church was,
Oh, man.
they just went,
The gas.
the gas out loud. And I was like, I said, what are you doing?
Right.
What do you think about
What are you thinking about? And he was like, this is what I wear for Easter. I said, but not here. It's the wrong place. It's the wrong time.
Yeah.
It's the wrong thing.
Right.
They don't want that. They want a man in a suit.
No, they can't hear you.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
not?
And they did not.
You know what? Our conversations have been recorded. I'm looking at still recorded. That's a good, valuable after conversation. Let me turn it off now.
Yeah, but when I go down home, go back home and preach, we're in South Carolina, I go down there. I don't preach in the suit. Preach in the robe.
Yeah.
That's what they're, and that they'll receive you accordingly.
I was going to say, but you gotta understand your environment.
And that's exactly, absolutely, you have to
Where
know.
you are.
Now, the morning, if I do a morning revival, I wear a robe. If I do an evening, more young people, then I wear a suit. But even then, I wear